The wind howled across the jagged cliffs of Aetherion, carrying whispers of a kingdom long forsaken. Once, the skies above had burned with the light of 1,000 embers, each a testament to the magic that coursed through the land. Now, it was a hollow memory, the stars themselves dimmed as if mourning what had been lost. From the edge of the cliff, a lone figure watched the horizon, her cloak flapping like dark wings in the biting air. Ember, the last of the Emberhearts, felt the weight of centuries pressing down on her shoulders. She had been trained in silence, in shadows, in fire. She had been raised to protect a kingdom that no longer had walls, soldiers, or hope. Her hands traced the sigils carved into the hilt of her sword, glowing faintly with the remnants of Aetherion's dying magic. Each symbol held a story, a fragment of the world that had been stolen. The fire that had once danced in her veins now flickered weakly, a candle struggling against the gale. The distant mountains trembled, not from wind, but from the approach of something ancient and restless. Ember's eyes narrowed, scanning the horizon where the sky cracked with the glow of unnatural light. Shadows moved with purpose, shapes that no ordinary soldier could survive. And yet she did not flinch. Memories of her childhood came unbidden, the lullabies her mother sang in a language older than time, the stories of heroes who had walked the thin line between sacrifice and glory. She had memorized them all, not as tales, but as prophecies she was meant to fulfill. And now, the moment had arrived. The ground beneath her feet rumbled as a figure emerged from the shifting mist. Tall, cloaked in darkness, the stranger carried a staff that hummed with power older than the mountains themselves. Ember's heart tightened. This was no ordinary enemy. This was the remnant of the old world, a guardian, or perhaps a destroyer, sent to test the last Ember of Aetherion. "You should not have come here," the figure said, voice like the grinding of stone, cold and eternal. "This land is dead, magic is dead, even your fire will fade." Ember stepped forward, letting the wind whip her hair around her face. "Aetherion is not dead," she said. "Not while I breathe, not while even a spark remains." The stranger laughed, a hollow sound that echoed through the valleys like broken bells. "A spark cannot reignite the sun. You fight a war already lost." Yet Ember's resolve did not waver. She raised her sword, feeling the ember inside her stir with a life she thought had been extinguished. Magic, she realized, was not simply power. It was memory. It was belief. It was the stories that refused to die, and she carried them all. The first strike came like lightning, a clash of wills that shattered the silence of the cliffs. Ember moved with precision, each swing of her blade carving fire into the mist. The stranger countered with waves of energy, bending the elements as though the mountains themselves obeyed. Sparks danced across the rocks, lighting up ancient runes that had lain dormant for centuries. Time seemed to fracture. Past and present collided as Ember remembered every lesson, every whispered prayer, every ember of hope passed down through generations. She was not alone. The legacy of her ancestors burned within her. And with that realization, her fire awoke fully, not as a flicker, but as a blaze that turned the mist into gold and crimson. The stranger faltered, eyes widening, as if surprised that the last Ember of Aetherion could still burn so fiercely. Ember's voice rose, steady and unyielding. "You speak of endings, yet here I stand. I am the Ember, and I will ignite the world again." The clash ended not with victory or defeat, but with silence. The stranger vanished into the mist, leaving Ember alone with the echo of her triumph and the distant, fragile glimmer of hope returning to the sky. She lowered her sword, watching the first true dawn in centuries spill across the cliffs. It was a new beginning, fragile but undeniable. Aetherion was not gone, not as long as stories were told, as long as fire burned in hearts willing to fight. Ember took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of the land beneath her. The kingdom might be broken, but its spirit remained, and she would carry it, a solitary flame against the darkness, until the world remembered the light of Aetherion once more.